Amen. Amen.
Oh, you have a dollar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Collecting for an Eretz Yisrael, you have change? Maybe what? Yeah. Did you already collect from Shul?
Okay.
Okay.
Actually,
Actually, let me use the card.
Oh,
Oh, I think I have it here. Wow, Baruch Hashem. Yeah. Have a wonderful day. Oh, yeah. Thank you for being mitzvah. Let me just send this. So I wonder if anybody who will join in the video will actually understand what's happening, because we're like deep into this mimer. But the more chassidus out there, the better anyways. What in the world? Okay.
This is out the whole day. Is it like not good to eat?
It was out like the whole day yesterday. I personally wouldn't eat it. It's probably fine. There's enough.
It's because of bacteria, no? That you don't eat it?
I don't know. Well, the advice about how long food lasts is like it gives our bodies a lot less credit for what it's capable of handling. But I don't know if you want that to be the thing your body's working on today, you know? I'm sure you can handle it. Okay. So I'm thinking that I'm using a different sefer here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akam. Wait, this is not the right page either. That's Tavshin Tesvav. We're doing Chafaf. So he said that in the Maimer, in the Rebbe Rashab's Maimer, he explains that Chasidacha Yevarechucha, being in an Eifen of Chesed, is mitzad two inyanim, which the Rebbe then asked, why would it be both Why would it need to be both mitzad bittul, which is serving the Eibishter just for the Eibishter's need, not even the high level of like to connect to Hashem. It's not even to connect to Hashem. It's simply because this is what the Eibishter wants in the world, and then that makes us capable of doing chesed with Hashem. Which what's chassidus? It's taking our koiches glui and making them koiches elikim. The Rebbe asks why we would need that also in addition to the total bittul. It seems like the bittul should just bring the hamshacha already. The Rebbe says that's part of bringing the hamshacha. It's not like after you bring, perhaps the way we learned it at first was that after, through bittul, we're mamshich from pnimius avatik. Now we need to do transformation of our keiches gluim into keiches elikim. And the Rebbe says, no, that's not it. You're transforming your keiches gluim to becoming keiches elikim is part of what's necessary to be mamshich from pnimius avatik. And then we said that according to this, we can further understand why the pasuk is emphasizing Chasidecha Yivarechucha. That it's in a way of bracha, not in a way of tefillah. Tefillah is the request of a person asking for sustenance or asking for divine effluence from above, and in that place, you're basically saying, I'm not so one with godliness. I could connect to God through prayer, so I could ask God to provide for me, but I'm not. But the very fact that I need to ask God to provide for me means that I'm feeling some sort of lack. Whereas by a bracha, it's not a request. It's you're affecting a hamshacha, and specifically in a way like the example that we brought in the Maimer is like Rashbi, who he didn't even ask for rain, he didn't even mention rain. He just spoke Torah, and the rain that was necessary to pour down poured down. Not even in a way of like the Pinchas ben Yair, who commanded the Nahar to split for him. Well, I had a thought yesterday when I was davening. We say Ritzayin Yirei of Yaseh, Leshavas Nishma V'Yeshiyim, and then we say that he's Shomer Oyavav. Ritzayin Yirei of Yaseh, Leshavas Nishma V'Yeshiyim, Shomer is Kol Oyavav, Beis Kol Ereshayim Yashmi. So I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch. It's just a thought I had, but it's not necessarily accurate. That Ritzayin Yirei of Yaseh is like when you're serving the Eibishter mitzad yira, which is not yet this level of Chasidecha Yivarechucha, then the Eibishter Taka does your ratzon, because he'll fulfill your bakashas. In other words, and when they cry out to him, when they cry out to Hashem, he listens and he saves them. When it comes to those who love the Eibishter, he's watching. He's already watching. Then all the Rishayim are destroyed. He will destroy. In other words, that's like what we're saying. It's actually not exactly Pada V'Shalim, because when you're talking about Yashmid means a destruction. So it's not a Padiyah V'Shalim, but you see something a little bit deeper by the Shemer Hashem Eskolei above, that like you're already protected. You don't need a command for the hamshacha to happen, but it is because the bracha of Chasidecha Yivarechucha is hamshacha of pnimius atik ub'dargazu and shayach tziva. You don't command it. You're revealing in the world that it's already all good. It's already all okay. Does this happen from the cold?
No.
Okay.
It's not blood. It's all good.
All right, Yud Gimel. I think we could finish the mimer, and then, if you want, we could learn this sikha here, which answers those two questions that the Rebbe didn't answer in the mimer, or we could move on to something about Hanukkah.
Both. Yeah. Okay, וזהו פרק שלום נשלי פרק שלום דווקא והיינו שבתי היא בתחת השלום השלמוס. That's, by the way, the real thing, you don't like to do this. Maybe I need to do it on my own. If not,
It's Chazer and Chazer and Chazer.
real thing is to at least learn Mimer twice. Because then you we're just mamish like getting our brain content in a day, but we're not really.
I'll tell you why I don't like to do
it.
it.
I think you did this twice, no?
Well, this part, like I finished the mimer already, so I'm doing this part twice. I didn't do the whole thing.
The first time you learn a mimer, you really
over time. Actually, I probably did Chazer twice.
The first time you learn a mimer is like you're getting the skeleton of it. The second time you learn a mimer is actually Geshmak, because you don't have the pressure of not knowing what it's saying.
Right.
And you can just have like you're more like.
Look, I'm down to do that if you want to. I'm down to do that if you want to.
So you get to just sit and actually just like. It's a whole different experience when you learn Mimer the second time.
Look, we're doing what the Rebbe said, bringing you to Kislev into Chanukah.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, the reason sometimes I don't sit and do that for a long time is because, like, for me, it's very. It's two reasons. One is that I kind of do run off the makif. Like it inspires me when there's something new, when I'm like experiencing a new idea in Chassidus. Like and I want that, you know, like I feel like I need that even. And then the second thing is that often I don't have more to contribute. Like the way that I feel like, especially with this mimer, I probably did learn it twice, but like by now if I'm gonna look at it again, I don't think I'm gonna see more, like so much more at least than the first time, you know, or first two times. Like I would go over it again, but with a shiur, with someone, you know, like. This way I could be corrected instead of like further cement anything that maybe I didn't learn the wrong way. Maybe I didn't learn pshat, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Meaning over time I always go back to my marm that I learned, but like not immediately after, and also not necessarily do I learn it the same way. Like I'll listen to a shiur, you know. Oh, by the way, just speaking about Zapi Chalam and Safa Brura, so I was just listening to a shiur by Shais Taub about the dreidel. Interesting, like Rozei Torah about, you know, the spinning top with Nun Gimel Haitian. Very interesting stuff. One thing that he says there, I think he brings from the Megala Amukais, that each of the sides of the dreidel is another golus. You know, we say like Rabim Biad Ma'atim. So Rabim is Raimi, Bavel, Yavan, and Madai. That's not chronological order, but the point is those are all the four Golosin, and they each represent like another thing that they tried to do against the Yidden. What thing? So in order, the Babylonians tried to uproot our nefesh, right? They destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, and they took away basically the way that we would be mechaper al nafshei seinu, right? By bringing karbanis. That's nun. Then you have shin or sin, which is seichel, which is the human element of Bnei Yisrael. And you have the gimel, which is the guf, and you have the hey, which is hakol, which is basically the doing all of them. Right? So whatever, he points out how in each golus, until eventually golus reim, which is edaim, which is now, which they're trying to, you know, side the guf and the nefesh and the seichel, it's against everything. But they're all different they're all four different sides. And what the Yidden are trying to do, we're not trying to pay anyone back. We're not trying to kill them. We're not trying to, you know, do anything. But when it spins, right, it's all united now. Like it's all, you don't see the division. All we want, you know, like his words are like the Jewish conspiracy is that we're trying to get the whole world to serve God. You know, like we're so terrible. We want everybody to la'avdei shchem echad. That's the Yidden are represented by the top of the dreidel, but what makes it all spin. So it's an interesting little thing.
Nice. Okay, let's do it. Like my show in the Sia, Sahara, and my session, Emerald, Zekum, and the Butsu Vechinus with Senacham Tanaka. Shabir Hayabedach Mocham, Valachin, Shamatish, Ivan, the Sainim, Allah Shahayu, Ivan, Yafutu, and the Su, Gam like my Shahayu, and Shlam, Asha, Bir Hayabedach from Milan, come up in his bar, Tutu, Shahahem, Eza, Ian Shalar. Right? Ki'im Shigam is this an actual Yuchlu Baktusha. Yisir Mizah, Shigam Nivra, Hanifal Ba'atzmai. Hanifal Atzmai, Shalayak Kamay Apel Shabai. Yea Betachsa Satos, Kamay Yea losses, Zamash Kasav Kibiram Hayimadi. Right?
All of that was basically a review of stuff that the Rebbe already established.
Gam is Rabbim Elution himself and Shusha Rabbim Marzal Pasig Nasal Shum Lashan Rabbim because this is already like Hanukkah again, by the way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cause of
I thought about that also,
yeah. Yeah, Gam Elution Marzal Pasig Nasal Lashan Rabbim cause of Nasal Lashan Rabbim cause of Rachel Litas Yita Hayu Imadi should be with me. Right? Shemis Achtem Betachsai Sachtos. Right, because of our rates of litas, Hayumi Madi, she must after Metaxas after Zelki, she give her up Hayumi Madi. This is what it means, keep her up Hayumi Madi when it's in his time or Pada Bishalam. She must after Metaxas after one with the taxes after Zelki, she give her up Hayumi Madi. This is what it means. Even
the Rabbim, right? Even something that's essentially Rabbim, which Rabbim literally means the opposite of oneness. It's many. Right. It's the opposite. Also, like we say about Hanukkah, a Pesach Beis Hami Bachotz, you light it Mishach HaShecha towards the Rabbim, right? So the Rabbim outside should see it. Right? In the darkness, that's where we're trying to bring light. We said even about Shlema that he would take it like all the Nitzutzos of Derech Memela came to him and were shining, but that's only the ones that were close enough or shaykh enough to not the ones in total darkness. Not the ones that are just like that have nothing to do, no shaykhs to Hashem Echad. But that will be by Mashiach. That will be with Hamshach Pnim Yisata.
Right. And this is what it means. Because many were with me who in his time was a reasoning of Padav Shalom. Shabti B'Shalom, with the redemption and peace, he dafka idei dafka through this, she gam b'chinas Rabbim. Later I kind of took this Kedusha. Those give it up while you imagine when he says down on Shabbat Shabbat B'Shalom, with the redemption within peace, he dafka idei dafka through this, she gam b'chinas Rabbim. Also Rabbim, later I kind of took this Kedusha. Gal Yoshi b'chinas Rabbim, later imagine al derech my Marzal, she gam on Shir B'Shalom, his follow over David.
Meaning even his enemies.
That's in his time on Padma Shalom because they turned to me with even the dark of the dark turned to me, right, to help me is a raya that it was a piyah b'shalom because the only way that can happen is because through shalom. Right, they're not even shaykh to me trying to be.
They were the enemies originally.
Right.
Meaning, when the enemy is no longer your enemy, it's one level of a padiyah, but even a level of padiyah b'shalom, like we said about Shlomo all the time. But the essential padiyah b'shalom is when the enemy becomes your friend. When the men of Avshalom are davening for that, it's not just that they're no longer actively trying to kill him. It's when they become their friend. Which is interesting that we use that this whole thing is about the Alter Rebbe, because the Masnagdim didn't become friends of the Alter Rebbe. Unless it's futuristic, like the Alter Rebbe sees that because this Gzeira against Chassidus is no longer, eventually the Masnagdim are going to turn around, like we see happening today. And like in the view of a Rebbe, it's like you already see the result now. It's interesting. okay, here's where the Rebbe makes it practical. Like, what does it mean for us? How do I bring this idea of B'Shalim into the world, into my life, and by extension of that, it will be in the world. Right.
Please do this redemption. The idea of this redemption comes about through the Avodah Isagatar.
And by the way, like that's the next step.
Please do the idea of Avodah Isagatar. Most of us was a silver.
Everything
Please do the idea of Avodah Isagatar. Like in the Glitter, is actually the Dr. Vera, how you should be a shot, who shall live with that Muhammad Klal. I knew that the beer which happens through Pnimis Torah is not in a Gam like you see some of the ideas and asked that the Shalom should be about to the beer that happens through Pnimis Torah is not through a war. What can I do? Said the Nasa of Shalom. Begin we said. Can you get my tool with Sibra Shat tool with Sibra Maya tool with Sesame Chula? I thought possible to show me Matri can Yakut can with Sibra. Tefillah with Sibra from Shakas Primus Kasser. Very good. Because Tefillah is seemingly you do is Yeducha.
Hashem coming, yeah.
Right, Lachari said Bracha, I guess B'tzibur brings the mind of a bracha.
It's uniting a rabbin. That's the idea of P'tiyah B'Shalim.
Right. Well, Pizah, Tuvan HaShaychos, the Padar Shalom Gamer. Right, Well, Pizah, Tuvan HaShaychos, the Padar Shalom Gamer, the Gulas Rabbeinu Zaken.
In my opinion, in this last paragraph, the Rebbe's this was my thought yesterday, that the Rebbe's like, you can bring Mashiach, you can be Mamshich from Pnimiyas HaKeser, either by being the type of balabas that lives like this, your Asik B'Torah, Gemilas Chasadim, and Tefillah B'Tzibur. You do those things, like that's Pasha Mashiach in your life, and when you bring it into your life, you're Mamshich in the world. Or you go on shluchas. When you go and you give chassidus to other people, then you're doing all these three things. How is it tefillah b'tzibur? I have to remind, but
right.
Yeah.
So this is Tuvan HaShaychos, Padar Shalom Gamer, the Gulas Rabbeinu Zaken. Inyan Afatzmayan Sputzah, Gam B'chinas Malchus and Malchus, Moeshi B'chinas Sputzah, Yom Shach Hashem,
L'sham,
B'Shem Mayanis. Right?
an important deal. Gloi Rakamayim.
Lerak Amayim Chayim Mishachal Mayanis, Elam Mayanis, Elah Mayanis Atzma. Mishachal Pnimiyas HaKeser Mayanis, B'chinas Malchus and Malchus Kul Chutza. Zeh Shadei Tafas Mayanis Chutza Yisba'iyah Asimar, Dal Malka Mashiach Ki Garas HaKedesh Yidu Ad Baal Shantam V'Tzidim. Ki Afas Mayanis Chutza Hu Inyan Mishachal Pnimiyas HaKeser B'chinas Malchus and Malchus Kanal. Okay.
Oh, I don't know how it's tefillah b'tzibur. I see how it's Asik B'Torah. If you're constantly teaching chassidus, then you're Asik B'Torah. If you're constantly teaching chassidus, you're being goyim al chesed to those that you're teaching. I don't know how it's mispal in Tzibur, but perhaps because you need to do that kind of avodah with all your Eser Keiches and Nefesh, or perhaps because to bring mayonis, to bring the mayon to people, it takes work, and it's like tremendous Abbas Yisrael, which is maybe also the Indian of davening b'tzibur. I don't know how that would differ from Gemilas Chasadim. But the Rebbe is basically making it clear that by being meifetz mayonis, chutza, that's k'mo Asik B'Torah Gemilas Chasadim and Mispal Matzibur.
Right. If I say chutza, who Inyan Shachas Pnimiyas HaKeser B'chinas Malchus and Malchus Kanal. Wow.
This is easy. This is easy for a person.
أشر أزيا أسرقة معبن أرض وهي أشم الملك قارد بيما هو أشم الملك شميخة. Wow.
Immediately now.
What's the part of needing to do this in a Pel Mamash to Gaif and going out to Malchus or Malchus? If this is seemingly something that happens Me'ela, no?
It happens Me'ela when we're mamshich from Pnimius Abatik. But the Hamshacha from Pnimius Atik,
One more time.
it happens Me'ela with the Hamshacha from Pnimius Atik. But in order to do that, in order to be mamshich from Pnimius Atik, it takes a certain avodah. Like, you could train yourself to wake up every morning at 4:45 in the morning and jump into an ice bath, and eventually it's like you live a life where it's pretty much me'ilah. Like, this is how I've trained my body. This is what I do. But it's going to take a few mornings of like, this is painful, or maybe every morning it's still painful. But the point is,
how's it Tia B'Shalom if you're actively going out and needing to like sit with people and like work and like tell them about this art?
The Dia B'Shalom is when you're doing this. Meaning, by doing this avodah, you bring about a Dia B'Shalom. I'm sorry. That was confusing. The way that I said that was inaccurate. Doing this avodah is an expression of P'tiyah B'Shalom. But in order to bring about that P'tiyah B'Shalom, you have to do this avodah. So that's why I'm giving this example of like the guy who gets himself used to doing something that's difficult. Like if my goal is to make that my routine, that I get up at 4:45 in the morning and I jump into an ice bath, then I need to do it even when it's like really not my routine. Like this is just against every fiber in my body doesn't want to do that. But eventually that becomes the reality of my life, because I really do want it. So I really do want to live a life where I'm constantly going Mol Chesed, I daven with a minyan, I'm Isaac B'Torah. But in order to get to a place where I do that b'derech memela, because that's who I am, because I identify with godliness, I need to do it even when I'm not feeling like it, and I'm not necessarily holding yet the level of Hamshacha of Pnimius Atik. That's the way to get there. Practically, we always talk about bittul and Kabbalah Sof. You have to have a basic level of bittul to get to a higher level of bittul. I have to do what the Eibishter wants, even when I feel like I don't want it, in order to constantly feel that I want what the Eibishter wants.
Right. Okay. Okay.
You want to do this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't
want to do it right now. Okay. I feel like either I want to do the mimer again or do a Chanukah mimer. That's what I'm feeling. Yeah.
I'm down to start the mimer again.
Yeah? Let's do it. That's what I want.
Okay.
This should be. This should take us through Hanukkah in the manner that Kiburam Hayu Imadi. This entire thing of Malchus the Malchus, the Mata, is what entire Hanukkah is about. Because the Menorah its time is when the tricksters come out on the street. When it's going to Rosh Hashanah and Dafke, it goes until they leave. because once they leave, there's no Indian of a Menorah anymore. Right? The point of a Menorah is literally to bring Tiyah Shalom to B'ram Ha'yir Madi. So this is Hanukkah.
See a little bit why the Rebbe wants us to celebrate Yud Kislev and Hanukkah.
Right, exactly. Now, Adkan, we got the point of learning the Maimer. Now we can do really a little bit enough shade, try to live with this Inyan, you know?
Yeah.
Wow. So far, we've been learning a lot of we do this what the whole sentence is about, but Isha Achas, Hashecha, that the Vart of Yisin Ara Abamina Chayshach is that Chayshach is higher than Ar. There's a level of Chayshach. You sit in the Chayshach, and within there is the Ar. The Chayshach itself is the Ar.
It's just about
this, the Vart that this, you know. This Zionist is a whole other thing that, whatever. It's just we're learning a lot about the part of finding Hashem within your darkness, Yeah, Padre Shalom Hashem Mikra Mikra Yimani. Kodesh Yevinu Zakamala Gula Vasimcha. Shvisi V'Sli for Tilim Pasuk Diva Shalom Na Padre Shalom Hashem Kodesh Shitzchati Pasuk Shalom Yitzhasi Shalom Hashem Shalom Muva Mizah Shetayich Lekasuk Shalom Gula Yevinu Zakim. Nine Gula Yevinu Zakim Inyin Nefats Mayar Shater Sexudis Ala Chutzak Yidua Shusivus Akitu Namash Lamata Haya Mitzada Shakur Tari Lamaila Advar Hafatas Rosh Eter Vizkalia V'ashe Gila Kolak V'achal Esher Haya Psak Tim Lamaila Hafatas Rosh Eter V'ada V'yatsis V'yatsis Ozer Kosher Yikodim L'maiser V'zbat L'mela Adin L'mata V'yatsil L'cheres Then move on. She's taking a curse upon the show now. She's shy of eating a foot of success. Here's understood that the point of the pasuk Padav Shalom Nashi is shy to the eating of a foot of success.
When you first learn this mimer, you could learn that line it's just, it's simple to understand how Padav Shalom is Shaykh Chassidus, because that's the pasuk that the Alter Rebbe was saying when he left prison, and that obviously represented his Padiyah, which the whole Meiser was against his spreading of Torah, right? The Pimyas HaInyanim. But when you get to the end of the Maimer, you see how the Rebbe is saying the inyan of Padav Shalom is Hafatzis HaMayanes Chutza. Not they're connected because you discuss Levi, etc. It's that is what Padav Shalom means.
He exists.
And then move on. She's taking a couple of Padre Shalom Nashi Shachli. If there's the Vahina, whereas our Padre Shalom Nashi Mikal Amar Gashbach Kolai Siviter Musadim and Spalam and Siver Mali and Yulak Yuluk Ta'ani Li will have Hanami Ben Umas Ayla. Pisa Yishlam and the Nesal Shach the Pastor says the Taylor Gas of Shute. Imagine the Shute but give Shalom the Pastor says Shach is Gamal Yunus Vitera who goes to Spalam and Siver. So he says this pasuk, right? Right.
That's one of
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
V'hinei. Read. I want to read Gimel. So.
Okay. Fine. So we have to understand the connection between this and the Rizal, and also the Rizal with the two things of Shalom and why it's separate. Right?
Well, we didn't get there yet.
Okay.
You're about to read that.
Okay. Meaning, first of all, because it's the who Asher Kivriyam Ha Yimani Yu Nisiris Tam. With Padre Shalom Nashi. You know what? Is it too late to switch my mind?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I was just going to suggest to you that, but we can do this with a new mimer also, and perhaps you're already doing it, that like, specifically, obviously the general kavanah when learning Torah is that, we're revealing godliness in the world, especially Pnimius HaTorah, which we said there's no struggle, it's Pnimius HaTorah, right? It's a Padiyah B'Shalim. But if we're trying to learn a mimer, to get the mimer, to apply the mimer to our life, I think the intentionality of his kashrus to the Rebbe is very important. When you're learning, like that, I want the Rebbe's
Perspective in my life.
I want the Rebbe's guidance, to be absorbed, but and for me to do what the Rebbe is saying.
Okay, yeah, let's
So you can continue with that intentionality, or you could apply that to another mimer also.
No, let's do it. It's a difficult thing for me. I just want like something new in my mind, but like that let's try that. Yeah. When you see this time, wow. It's because we're Rabbi Yumadi. It's our problem. Not when you Pada B'Shalom Nafka. But Shaykh is to Rabbi Yumadi Pada B'Shalom. Yini B'Joshua is all Pada Gzak. Kolai S'B'Terek L'Schodem Balam Etzibur Kol Pirush Rashi. Terry D'Ksav, Terry D'Ksiv V'Cholim S'V'Sar Shalom.
So Pada B'Shalom is a reference to Torah and V'chein.
Right. Kolai S'B'Terek L'Schodem Balam Etzibur Kol Pirush Rashi. Torah D'Ksiv V'Cholim S'V'Sar Shalom. V'chein Gemilas Chasadim Namis Shalom. So too, Gemilas Chasadim is also Shalom. U'Mispal U'Matzibur. And davening with the minion, when you give it out my money. The Pirush Rashi, give it out my money, she's following me. The Hainu, she gam, he's a Gimel Elu, Tarek was Salam, so the Machab, basically, Tarek was Salam, but to whatever when you give it out my money. We have to understand, Mash Machal, Gimel Elu, Lishtech Lucas, this that we separate these three inyanim into two sections. You also need to understand
Both of these questions in Ice Base, the Rebbe doesn't address in the mind. I never saw that before, by the way. Where the Rebbe is like, I was, by the way, from the whole Maimer, I was most excited about Ice Base, like to get to the answer. The Rebbe totally doesn't answer.
right.
These two things. Why does Rashi split it into two? And Gam Tzarech Lavin, yeah.
Right, so much for Hagel and Elish Tichalukis. Gam Tzarech Lahavim Mashe Amru Kola Isaac Chush V'Davar Kam Inyan Adam Isaac B'Teira. We also have to understand this that we split three inyan into two sections. We also have to understand Gam Tzarech Lahavim Mashe Amru Kola Isaac Chush V'Davar Kam Inyan Adam Isaac B'Teira Chulu. Like the Indian Torah goes to the as well as remember a more go my gamagas going I'll shoot to my elam amen I'll tell you by the son like Allah Isaac tell you by the will son my elam Allah should kind call Isaac right.
Those are two things that we want to know. Now if you want to switch to the Sikha, now that you've refreshed your memory of those questions, if you want to go see the answer in the Sikha, we could do that, or we could start with the Maimer.
Now still a Hak and Cup this Maimer is real good.
Yeah. So the even said.
So he starts off the first paragraph, just the basic, right? That means it has to have Shachs Alter Rebbe, right?
Right. Shachs to Hafatz Zamayas.
Right. Right. Then there's
the comment of Gemara and Brachis.
Yes,
so the Gemara and Brachis has Shaykhas Tafat Zamayanis. How so?
Right. Now.
Then we said that why does Rashi, analyzing a little bit more the Gemara and Brachis, why does Rashi split it into two?
Shalom is learned from two, and then we learn the
Kibbirabim Spalul Matzibur
is what? Not Shalom.
Kibbirabim Hayamadi is Spalul Matzibur.
But how is that Shalom?
No, it's not. Shalom is Gemilas Chesed and Torah.
Right.
Kibbirabim Hayamadi is the second
exactly.
one.
That's right.
So why does he split them?
Yeah.
And also, why is this Maimer Chazal different than any of the others that speak of Torah Avodah Gemilas Chasadim? Where here we're talking about the Gavra, not the Chavtza. So v'yuvan zeh behektem ashkaso yeduch Hashem kol ma'asecha v'chasidacha yivarechucha. David Melech says in Tehillim that your actions, Hashem will thank you, will acknowledge you, and your Hasidim will bless you. V'isa b'zayar, and the Zayar says, the Pirush yivarchucha hu yivarchu kai. And what does that mean? Well, the Rebbe Rashab is going to explain it. B'varad Mamar Rashab nishmas yedin b'mamar dibra maskal pada b'shalim in eter dekai hu malchus. When the Zayar is saying yivarchu kai, it means that they are making a bracha happen from malchus. Yivarchu kai, what's a bracha? A bracha is amshacha. Yivarchu kai u lahamshich gilui ar b'malchus. Yivarchu kai means that the Chassidim are drawing a gilui ar into malchus. And we have to find out what that gilui ar is, right? As we will later, Pneumius Antik. V'namar v'chasidecha yivarchucha damshacha zu b'kayach chasidecha davke. It's specifically the Chassidim that are doing this yivarchu kai, that are being mamshech a gilui ar b'malchus. Ve'inyan hu dezeh shechasidecha yivarchucha hu b'smicha su b'hemshech v'yeducha Hashem kol ma'isacha. This concept that Chasidecha Yevarchucha, the Chasidim being Mamshechar into Malchus, is in close proximity and as a Hemshech to Yeduch Hashem Kol Ma'isacha, which we said is the first stage of actually we didn't say that yet, we're about to. Hu ki Hamshacha b'Malchus, Shaydi Chasidecha, this Hamshacha b'Malchus of Yevarchu Kai, which happens through the Chasidecha, he is from a very lofty place. As we'll see later, Reishis Delas Yada. She'ein shaykh b'yasaga ela hayda bilvad. It's only shaykh to it's la'is yada, right? It's only shaykh hayda. It's only shaykh to acknowledge that this is the Eibishter. Yeducha. V'amshacha misham ba'ifin de bracha hi b'kayach chasidecha daf. In other words, there's a great maila to Yeducha over the bracha. There's even a maila, as we're going to say soon, as we're about to say, to tefillah over a bracha. Right? Do you remember from when we learned on Shabbos? What's the maila of tefillah over a bracha? As we keep
Ratzon Chadash.
Right, it's a Ratzon Chadash. It's a very, very tremendous thing. So this Yivarchuka comes from a place of Haida Bilvat. So it has, as we're going to say, both miles of a bracha and even of tefillah. That's that vart of Yeducha Hashem Kol Ma'isacha of Achasidacha Yivarchucha coming in continuation to that. The bracha. So to understand just how great this idea is of Hamshacha in a way of bracha from a place of Haidah only, he prefaces in the Maimer by explaining to us the difference between a bracha and tefillah. So each one has a advantage over the other. The tefillah is from below to above. I'm praying. I'm here below. I'm reaching out to God from my place, and I'm asking that He gives me, divine influence from above. Ubracha hi malamayla lemata, and a bracha is the other way around. It's malamayla lemata. It's from above to below. By the way, this is the key for the answer. As the Rebbe started this paragraph by saying Yuvan Zeh behektim, right? What's the Yuvan Zeh? What are we trying to understand? What the Rebbe asked was, why does Rashi split these three inyanim into two, and why is it specifically saying it about the person? Yeah. So this is the answer key for what the Rebbe doesn't really fully answer in the Maimer, and it's only answered in the Sikha. But the idea is the difference between Milmayla Lamata and Milmata Lamayla. By a bracha, it's milmayla lamata, meaning what? Shamevarich hu lamayla me'ashayresh shemimenu nimshachas habracha. Mamshich isa milmayla lamata. The one giving the bracha, the one administering a bracha, is higher even than the shayresh from which he gives the bracha. And he draws that down to the receiver of the bracha. That's why we know a bracha is in a way of a command. You should have this. You will have this. Since the one giving the bracha is on a greater plane than the root from where he is drawing that bracha, therefore, he could tell it what to do. He's bigger. Yeah. And that's why you find that a bracha is specifically done by someone who has the ability to bless. Right, Hashem gave our forefather Abraham the ability to give brachas. And the point is, brachas are something that require a license. You need to be licensed to give a bracha. You need to be in a place that's higher than the shayrish of the or that you're trying to send to someone else, that you will send to someone else through a bracha. If you're going to command me what to do, you better be in a greater position than I am. Simple as that. But it's not like tefillah where if you're going to ask me what to do, you don't need to be in a greater position. Anybody could ask. You say to him, he says, not only everybody could, everybody should, everybody must ask from the Eibster. Perhaps the diuk on Nitztav is that we're saying that a bracha is b'derech tzivur. Because a person giving the bracha is greater than the shaydash that he's sending, he commands it what to do. When it comes to tefillah, of course we're lower than the Eibster, and the Eibster commands us that we should ask. We should make the bakasha in tefillah. Yeah? So now we see the advantage of bracha over tefillah. Tefillah is a request for ashpa. It's not necessarily going to happen. Right? I could request, to give a very pashut example, I could request a raise from a superior. Yeah? I can't demand it. I can't command that it should happen. Right? But the superior has the ability to bless me to get a raise, right? Because he's capable of executing that. He will say, yeah, bevadai. But what's the ma'ila of tefillah, of request over a bracha, the gavi bracha? He the amshacha atzma, in the amshacha itself. The amshacha shaydei tefillah hinala sheisher. If I go and request a raise, and the superior wants to give it, he might ask me okay, what do you want? Or how much works? And then I could ask for what I want. If the superior just comes and gives it, he already worked out on what works for him and what he's capable of doing, and he'll bring it. But by tefillah, by the amshacha itself, it's greater. The amshacha shaydei tefillah hinayos yesem. Dinin abrachu lahamshich mashikvar nimtza be'amakar v'loy davar chadash. Right? If the superior comes and just says, here's a raise, it's because he was looking through the books and he was like, look, the company has a little bit more money that it could actually afford to pay you more because we think that you're very valuable to us. It's already there. This money's already there. But tefillah, back to this example, is like the guy coming and saying, look, I know that maybe our company can't yet afford, and you don't yet see the value that I bring to the table, but pay me this, and then you will see the value that I bring to the table. Make it happen. It's a new thing. That's the ma'ila of a bracha over tefillah. I'm sorry. That's that it's a new thing is the ma'ila of tefillah over bracha. But by a bracha, it's something that's already there. That's why when we ask of the Eibusher and many tefillah something, we use this lashon of Yehi Ratzein. The Pirush Yehi Ratzein, Hu she'iyah ratzin chadash. It's like, even if this isn't the Eibishter's will, even if the Eibishter already decreed something against this, there should be a ratzin chadash, right? Like the Maisa I couldn't hold back from telling you on Shabbos when we started the Maimer of, who was it in the story? Shucks, I forgot. Do you remember? The Maisa said that this I believe, asked a Chayza of Lublin after Yom Kippur what his Gzar Din was, and he said, "You're going to lose all your money." I think it was Simcha Bunim. I don't even know if that chronologically makes sense. And he told him, the point is, a Chassid asked the Chayza, what's my psak din? And he said, "You're losing all your money." Okay, kachave. He lost all his money that year. He did his best to support his family. But the point is that yada 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 until he reached a place where he cried to the Eibishter, right? That's when things turned around for him. You see other inyanim also. You see the bitachim that once the bracha opened up, he refused at first the job because he couldn't get a job for a long time. But then once someone was offering him the job, right, he was like, "No, I want a better position," because he saw that now that the Gezeira is over, I could, like, it's open. But the point is, when he came back to the Chayza after successfully doing all this, the Chayza said that, like, the Gezeira only ended because of your bakasha, because of tefillah like that. He said specifically the Maila of tears back then. Now the Rebbe says not to try that, but yeah, we know that if a person cries to the Eibishter, it is a very powerful thing. So it could arouse a ratzin chadash. He ratzin. Sorry, I'm taking a long time. And the reason why this hamshacha of Ur Chadash happens specifically through tefillah is because Hashem desires our work. I think that's what that pasuk means. Should we look up so we could use it properly? That's why specifically through tefillah, which is the avodah of us here below, we can reach a place of Arim Seif higher than Ishtalshalos and tap into a ratzin chadash. So a bracha is not Arim Seif l'mayla mishtalshalos by itself, usually. Chasidacha Yevarchucha is, because it's from a place of Yiduch Hashem Kol Mitzachah, so it has both of these minds. But as of right now, we understand that there's each one has a maila over the other. By a bracha, there's vados. By a tefillah, it itself is a higher amshacha. Al pizah moving goydel ilay a bracha dechasidacha shamshacha sahimi amakim shabai hi hayda. The bracha zu shtei amayles shamshacha hi me'erin save shalamayel me'ishtalshalos. Just like by tefillah, hayno shaydei bracha zu nasir ratzin chadash amayla de tefillah. Ba'afa pichein he loy tefillah bakasha ela bracha b'derech tzivoy with a vados. V'la derech tisa b'Yerushalmi ala pasuk b'tigzar oimer b'tigzar oimer v'yakam lach or v'yakam lacha. That you'll whatever you'll command and say will happen for you. Afilu hu HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I checked up this Yerushalmi. The point is, afilu hu HaKadosh Baruch Hu oimer hachein ba'atamar hachein didach kayama didila kayama. The Eibishter says that it will be this way, and you say it will be this way. It will actually be, meaning even if the Eibishter is on my team, and God says that it should be like this, but you say something else, what you say will go, and not my plan, not even the Eibishter's plan. This that Hashem will nullify a decree of His because of the Gzeira of a tzaddik. Who ki a tzaddik mamshich ratzin chadash amayla de tefillah. A tzaddik's bracha of chasidim chasidecha yevarchucha. That's not stam. That's not stam a bracha where you're because you're higher than this certain shaydash of ar, you're able to send that ar to its recipient. Here, it's not about the ar even existing yet. You create something new. It's a ashpa chadasha. It's a ratzin chadash. Even if there was a gzeira against it. Vayifin bitla gzeira hu loy aidei bakasha ela aidei gzeira satzadik. Mailas abracha shi b'derech tzivoy.
They want to hear because we go in this pilot it stops and they know.
Either way, I think that a huge element of this mimer is teaching people about the Rebbe. or bringing people to the Rebbe, really, so that they could come get in touch with the Maya. Like the Rebbe said at the end, it's not just giving over the teaching, right? It's not bringing the Mayim. It's not Hafatzas ha-Mayim and Mei ha-Mayones Chutza. It's Hafatzas ha-Mayones Chutza. You want to give people the source of the water, the source of the Torah, the source of the Chassidus. And I think teaching people about like what a bracha of a tzaddik could do for you, like bring someone to the oil. Like I think that's a huge inyan over here.
It's full that really properly know it. A lot of shyness over here. They don't want to lose. Why? Because it's too hard.
I want to do sometime, by the way. When was the last time you were at the oil?
And even the stuff that they're all listening to, right? Because we said that they were listening.
2-3 weeks ago.
I mean, hopefully we don't have to do it by the oil. We'll see the Rebbe Lamatim Yasar Tfachim. But in Golos plans, I want to do a group trip with some chevra like to the oil, where we all sit before and learn a mimer, and then everybody writes, or people should honestly write in their own time. I just have to structure like what the program should be, but like I want like a group of guys like agreeing on what we're doing together as a group. Basically learning a mimer, going in, and then coming out making a fabrengen.
I would love to do that.
I think it would be.
Love to do one at Hanukkah.
Maybe Tanka, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a
Let's do it.
Yeah. Get some sponsored food, or ask everybody to put in some money and make a nice fabrengen over there. It's like that's the way, like prepare for the yichidus. Everybody will get their answer in the mimer before you even go in the oil. That's what's gonna happen.
100%.
And then we're gonna come out and celebrate. That's game.
I don't know. I don't know if you sense I'm like a bit out of it the whole morning, because I'm just like I have like something that I cannot. It seems I don't want to say the words are powerful, but I haven't been able to get over, and it feels like pretty hopeless. I don't know what to do.